Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Stavaram Jangama Vyaptam Yat Kinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Babaji Yapi Yat Sarvam Devokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sarvashtuti Shiroratna Virajita Padam Pujaha Viraktam Puja Suryoyam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Shashvata Shanto Vyomatrito Niranjana Hindunana Kalatita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnana Shakti Samaruta Tattvamala Vibhushita Bhakti Marga Pradata Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Aneka Janma Samprata Dharma Bandha Vidayine Atma Jnana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shoshanam Bhava Sindhosya Jnapanam Sarasampara Guru Padodakam Samya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nagururarikam Tattvam Nagururarikam Tapa Tattvajnana Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Manata Shri Jagannatha Madhuru Shri Jagadguru Mahatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Nadiranarisha Guru Paramahamsa Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo Akama Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo Akama Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo Akama Jyoti Namo Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Ankara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Ankara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Ankara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti Namo Akanda Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo Akanda Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo Antara Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo Akanda Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana Jyoti Namo Antayami Namo Jai Sadguru Deva 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 Namo Antara Jyoti Namo Paramatma Jyoti 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 Namo Akanda Jyoti Namo Mama Jivana 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 Jyoti Namo Antaryami Namo Jai Sadguru Deva 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 Namo Antayami 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 Namo Jai Sadguru Deva Namo Om Avatara Shishaya Namaha Om Vishamaya Namaha Om Devakaya Samudhyataya Namaha Om Sushmatanave Namaha Om Chinmayaya Namaha Om Gurumurtaye Namaha Om Sundaraya Namaha Om Sulochanaya Namaha Om Sumukhaya Namaha Om Charvasaya Namaha Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Padmabhujaya Namaha Om Andagamanaaya Namaha, Om Sharumbharadharine Namaha, Om Ramaya Namaha, Om Mandirastapakaya Namaha, Om Shri Bhavashakaya Namaha, Om Gayatri Ajvane Namaha, Om Arpanasvikarakaya Namaha, Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namaha, Om Namo Narayana Yeti Mantropasakaya Namaha, Om Swaramayaya Namaha, Om Madhurakantaya Namaha, Om Krishna Sankirtanalopaya Namaha, Om Sudrapiyaya Namaha, Om Mitapashine Namaha, Om Vakmine Namaha, Om Chitakala Visharadaya Namaha, Om Pratadharaya Namaha, Om Sarave Namaha, Om Jagatpantaya Namaha, Om Savalokahitaya Namaha, Om Bhattapriyaya Namaha, Om Surdaya Namaha, Om Anukulaya Namaha, Om Neyaya Namaha, Om Sudarshanaya Namaha, Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha, Om Premamutaye Namaha, Om Shudakshanaya Namaha, Om Pridivardhanaya Namaha, Om Swastidayakaya Namaha, Om Tarakaya Namaha, Om Anugrahaya Namaha, Om Vardhanaya Namaha, Om Achitaya Namaha, Om Artaya Namaha, Om Siddhipradaya Namaha, Om Janardhanaya Namaha, Om Manoharaya Namaha, Om Mahakshaya Namaha, Om Siddhishwaraya Namaha, Om Bhasmabhushitaya Namaha, Om Atmalingaya Namaha, Om Lingachana Purasakaya Namaha, Om Siddhi Sadanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Omkar Pasakaya Namaha, Om Sukshmaya Namaha, Om Vishukaya Namaha, Om Satvikaya Namaha, Om Samarashine Namaha, Om Dakshaya Namaha, Om Achidyaya Namaha, Om Nirankaraya Namaha, Om Nirmohaya Namaha, Om Avyagraya Namaha, Om Chitakrodhaya Namaha, Om Vinayashridhaya Namaha, Om Svavashaya Namaha, Om Kushalaya Namaha, Om Kshamaya Namaha, Om Satyadharmaya Namaha, Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha, Om Viraktaya Namaha, Om Adindraya Namaha, Om Satyasandhaya Namaha, Om Pavitraya Namaha, Om Madhura Svabhavaya Namaha, Om Suranandaya Namaha, Om Nandanaya Namaha, Om Prasanatmane Namaha, Om Bhaktanidhaye Namaha, Om Sakshaye Namaha, Om Samatmaye Namaha, Om Sadayogine Namaha, Om Haraye Namaha, Om Sutapaya Namaha, Om Samyaya Namaha, Om Guyaya Namaha, Om Vimutatmaya Namaha, Om Gaviraya Namaha, Om Guptaya Namaha, Om Atmaramaya Namaha, Om Srinivasaya Namaha, Om Devaya Namaha, Om Yutidaraya Namaha, Om Dhanyaya Namaha, Om Gurave Namaha, Om Duravikramaya Namaha, Om Gahanaya Namaha, Om Bhagavate Namaha, Om Harishranamagadashakaya Namaha, Om Kudastajagakataya Namaha, Om Aviprayaya Namaha, Om Sarvamata Samatyaya Namaha, Om Shamakatavarakaya Namaha, Om Premavatara Sri Vishwananda Swamine Namaha. Ato Deva Avantuno Yato Vishnu Vichakrame Pradivya Saptadamavihi Iram Vishnu Vichakrame Vedani Dave Padam Samudamasya Parum Sure Trini Pada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopadabhya Ato Dharmani Karene Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yato Rudani Paspashe Indrasya Yujasaka Tad Vishnu Paramam Paragum Sada Pashanti Suryaha Divi Vachakshuratatam Tad Vipasso Vipanyavo Jagravagum Sasamiknate Vishnuryam Paramam Padam. Premavataraaya vidmahe Sadgurudevaya dhimahi Tanno Vishwananda Prachodayat. Om Premavataraaya Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketavale Narayana Achyuta Trivikrama Chakrapane Deyani Sarjadara Shridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhata Shri Rukmini Sabhavanasha Hare Murare Radesha Gopesha Surupa Brahmani Manya Shri Tarakashaya Vaikuntha Pate Bhuvane Namurte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhata Nilankite Kramana Rupa Varaha Murte Devi Kramaya Guhane Varurama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yarunandana Kalki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhata Govinda Madhava Mukunda Parambaresha Damodara Chadarananda Kadari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Santata Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priya Hare Tava Suprabhata Shri Akvishai Mujagari Padal Pashai Sattvattarisarana Shai Namanga Shai Shri Gopavama Murudalpa Sukari Shai Gopavallabhaye Tava Suprabhata Shri Kashyapati Sukadharana Gautamari Brahmarshi Sangamani Sangavavana Desho Tishtanti Deva Dava Darshana Bhagyaheto Gopala Sekaraye Tava Suprabhata Mandala Chari Tulasira Malika Jahe Maryani Anjali Pute Samudaharanti Tishtamti Padmavatadara Tale Murindra Radha Manoharaye Tava Suprabhata Vedatlayam Patati Gautapachana Guya Gayanti Sadguna Gano Varada Savaga Sankirtayanti Tava Nama Kadari Shesha Shri Naradari Rashaya Tava Suprabhata Govalda Nodarana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Chanamrita Subesha Bhava Vipona Trilokya Mohana Supangala Diya Neha Shri Rukmini Shavarada Tava Suprabhata Shri Vatsachina Sharanagara Parijata Bhaktati Panchana Kripa Karadina Bandho Divyanta Gayati Janapriya Divya Rupa Shri Nanda Gopa Tanaya Tava Suprabhata Padmaksha Padma Mukha Padma Dara Prameya Padmalayashtayata Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavati Suraseriya Para Padma Padmalinata Haraye Tava Suprabhata Vriddhata Devi Haranaya Mahendra Mandya Gandharva Garbha Haradinya Sunesha Rupa Chandrananaya Sila Chandana Lipna Neha Govinda Yadavaraye Tava Suprabhata Shri Nanda Nandana Yashoda Kumara Nira Bhayanga Dina Navichona Supushpahara Nilam Buddha Susharira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhata Shri Vaishni Jambhavati Sandhya Sugandhi Bhaja Shri Vitra Vitra Divasa Prabhukuta तिष्ठन्ति दिव्यभवमेतव सेवनर्दं गोपीमनप्रिय हरे तव सुप्रभातं श्रीकृष्ण अच्युत अनन्त मुकुन्द शौरी राधा मनोहर चन्दन चक्रपाणि नामानि दिव्यमुनयो निशं वदन्ति ब्राह्मी मुहूर्तसमये तव सुप्रभातम् श्रीकृष्ण सुप्रभातं ये पतन्ति अहर्निशं भूरि कृतं महापापं श्रीकृष्णाग्रहेतु
ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह आनादिर गोविंद सर्वकरण कारणम गोविंदमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविंदमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि चिन्तामणि प्रकरसं सुखाल्पवृक्ष रक्षावतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन् लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भवसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धेनुवनन्तमरविन्ददलाय दाक्षम् पारावतं समसितं बुधसुन्दरङ्गम् कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्द्रकलसद्वनमालवंशी यत्नङ्गदं प्रणयक्रीडिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियताप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियविद्रिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पन्ति कलयन्ति शिरं जगन्ति आनन्दशीमयसयुज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आदैतमाच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आर्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अन्तस्तु कोटिशतवर्षरसप्रगम्यो वायोरदापि मनसो मुनिपुङ्गमानम् स्तोभ्यस्ति यत्पदसिंहनिशीघ्रतत्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकयोग्यसौरचयितुं जगदन्तकोटिं यक्षगिरस्ति जगदन्तचयायनान्तः आनन्तरस्तपरमानुजयन्तरस्तं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजस्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमा सदयानभूषः श्रुतिर्यमेव निगमा प्रतिते सुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मय
Maya Rasa Pratita Vidavi Davirya Eva Nicharupataya Kalavi Goloka Eva Nivasyat Yakilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Premanjana Shurita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hidrayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achitya Guna Swarupa Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Ramadi Murti Shukala Niyamena Tishtam Nanavatara Makarot Kumaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhava Paramam Kumanyo Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jayananda Koti Kotishvashesha Vasudha Divibhuti Vina Tat Brahmanishkala Manandana Shesha Bhuta Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Maya Yasya Jagadanda Shatani Sute Dvigunyata Vishaya Veda Vitayamana Sattvavalambhi Parasattva Vishuddha Sattvam Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Ananda Shinmaya Rasa Mataya Manasu Yapraninam Patipalam Swarathanupetya Divayitena Bhuvana Nijayate Yasa Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Golokanam Ninichadam Nitale Chatasya Devi Mahesha Haridam Ashudeshu Deshu Te Prabhava Nichaya Vitadaschayena Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Sriti Palaya Sarnana Shatireka Chaye Vayasya Bhuvana Nivardi Ruja Vishwanurupa Abhiyasya Satirthatesa Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Kiram Yatata Divikara Vishesha Yoga Sanjayate Nahitata Pradagasti Heto Yajambutam Apitata Samumeitya Karya Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Dipachire Vaina Chandarana Bhupenya Dipayate Vrivitahe Samana Dharma Yastaki Vaishnavishnu Vivati Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Yakaranamachale Pachatasmayoga Nidrammananda Jagadanda Sarumakupaha Adara Shaktimavalamya Param Swamurtim Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Yasye Ganishvasitata Lavadavalamya Jivanti Loma Vivaja Jaganantanata Vishnurman Sayayasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purushantamaham Bhajami Pasvam
sakaleshu nideshu decha Liyam tiya prakatayat tapidam vadatra Brahmana isha jagananda vidana karta Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Yatpadapadalayugan vinidaya kumbha Bhakti pranama samaye sadayani rajaha Vignam vihantu mamalasya jagatrayasya Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Atir mahiga gananam bumarutti shashka Kalashta tatma manishiti jagatrayani Yasma bhavanti bhivavanti vishanti yamcha Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Yakshakshuresa sadita sakala gana Raja samasta suramurti ashesha tesha Yasya naya brahmati samratakala chakro Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami
Dharmota papa nichaya shrutayastapamsi Dhammadikitya pataga vadayascha chiva Yatha tamatra vibhava pakata prabhava
Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Yastro nagopanadavinda mahosva karma Vandanurupa palavajana tanoti Karma nivedahati tujavati vaja Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Yam krodha kama saja pranayadi vidhi Vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhavahe Sanchintyatasya sadishindamura purete Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami
Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Govindamani Purusham Tamam Vachami Govindamani Purusham Tamam Vachami
Agnanati mirandasya agnananjana shalakaya Shakshurum militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev. So today is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 14, Verse 54. Aho vidatastvam ativa balisho Yastvatma shrishti apratirutpam hiyase Parenu jivati parasya yamritir Viparya yaschetvam asidruva paraham. O Providence, O Creator, you are certainly unexperienced in creation, for during the lifetime of a father you have caused the death of his son, thus acting in opposition to your creative laws. If you are determined to contradict these laws, you are certainly the enemy of living entities and are never merciful. So this verse is regarding the story of King Chitraketu. So King Chitraketu, he ruled all over the earth, and he had everything. He was beautiful, he was young, he was wealthy, he was well educated. He was powerful. He had 10 million wives, all of them very attractive. But he was still not happy because he wanted a son, and for some reason, none of his wives could give him a son. So finally, the kingdom was visited by sage Angira, and the king finally asked for the blessing to have a son. But he warned, this son will be the cause of happiness, but also of lamentation. So finally, Queen Krita Duty, she gets pregnant. And of course, once the child, it was a very desired child, when the child gets born, they start to get very, very attached to the child. And even the king, he starts to grow affection by the mother of the child. And of course, when you have 10 million wives, it's normal that some jealousy, some envy starts to arise by the queen seeing that the mother of the child starts to be the favorite of the king. So day by day, the jealousy started to grow. And at some point, they just lose their discrimination and they poison the child. So the child dies. And of course, this causes a great pain both to the king and to the queen. And it's then that she is saying this verse. So repeat. O Providence, O Creator, you are certainly an experience in creation. For during the lifetime of a father, you have caused the death of his son, thus acting in opposition to your creative laws. If you are determined to contradict these laws, you are certainly the enemy of living entities and are never merciful. So while they were in distress, they got again visited by sage Angira and Narada, which gave them important knowledge. They explained that the relationships are of the body and therefore they are temporary, and that the soul has only a relationship with God. So when the body dies, also the relationship with other people will finish. Then King Chitraketu, he got initiated into the divine name, and after practice with dedication, he received the Lord's Darshan. Later on, he made a mistake and he gets cursed by Parvati, and in this next life, he becomes a demon. But of course, he is still devoted to God. So this is the story of King Chitraketu. So why is this story relevant? Let's break it down. So we have someone who has everything to be happy. So he's young, he's beautiful, he's powerful, he's educated, he's wealthy, but still not happy because he was missing something. So this is a good example of how the mind works. So we can have like 10 amazing things, but our mind will get obsessed, will get distracted with this only one thing that we think it's missing. So there is this story that Guruji likes to tell between the teacher and the students. So there is a white paper and then there is a black dot in the middle. And he gives this paper to the students and he asks the students to describe it. And all the students describe only the black dot. Even though it's a small dot in the middle of the sheet, none of them mentions the white paper. They only described the small dot. So this is a good example of how the mind works, is that we only focus on the negative and we are even ready to overthrow everything that is positive over something that is not so negative, not so positive. Another important aspect is that when we are in contact with a saintly person, we can ask for something spiritual. So in this case, King Chitraketu, he didn't ask for spiritual knowledge, he didn't ask for spiritual blessing, he asked for material advancement. So sometimes people come to Guruji and instead of asking for the ultimate gift, like God realization, we ask for minor things like a better job, a partner, fame, a parking spot. So we go to the Guru with material desires, forgetting that he is the one who can help us end all the desires. And then the sage fulfilled the desire, which created momentary happiness and led to sorrow. So in the same way, the material requests to make to Guruji often make our life more complicated. So happiness that is dependent on external circumstances will always lead to pain, because external happiness is temporary. So here it's important to receive whatever God gives, always without getting attached and understanding that everything that is material is temporary. And then the queens became envious. So here is a good example of the problem of comparing ourselves with others. So it's not that they didn't want to have children, they could not have children, and when they saw one of the queens being able to, they just compare and they became envious. And because they were not able to control their mind or their emotions, eventually they did something that afterwards they regretted. And another important point is that when finally our material desires create problems, often we don't take responsibility. So in the case of this story, when they came to the point of living the consequences of the desire, the queen was quite quick to question God and to accuse the Lord. It's always someone else's fault. So ultimately, we tend to blame the God and the Guru. And even many people become atheists when life does not bring them what they want and how they want. People don't take responsibility for their actions. Each action will have consequences, and this includes our desires. And we need to be ready to accept both fruits from each action. So in the same way, we are happy to bring all kinds of requests to Guruji for him to fulfill. But once we get problems as a consequence, we are quickly, or sometimes people are quickly to question him, to doubt his capacities, and to accuse him of not fulfilling his duties as Guru and protector of his devotees. And some people even leave him because they were with him for the material fulfillment of desires. So I remember talking with a devotee, and he had a partner, and the partner was not a devotee. And at some point, she got pregnant, but then she had a miscarriage. And her conversation with him was, if your Guru is who you tell me he is, how could this happen to me? So sometimes there is this idea that if God is God, then only good things will happen to me. And now there is also another important point of this story, is that the Lord never leaves us. So even if this situation was created by the desire of King Chitraketu, God then sent sage Narada and Angira to console them in the moment of distress. And when they came, they provided spiritual knowledge, because the spiritual knowledge can help us navigate through life. So they explained that the relationships are temporary, that the only eternal relationship is with the Guru. So there is this story in Mahabharata in which Arjuna, he loses his son, and he was also very much aggrieved. So he asked Krishna to revive his son. So Krishna eventually, he revives his son. And of course, at the first moment, Arjuna was very, very happy. But soon, the soul of his son starts explaining that, I'm not your son lays there where the body is. Because the bond that they had as father and son was finished the moment that the body has died. And nowadays there is even this concept of soulmates. So the concept of soulmates is that throughout all our incarnations, we have one person. So this person will be our partner throughout all these lives. And this is these are harmful concepts, because if people believe in this, they will be looking for this one person that is destined to them, that because they know since the beginning of times, they can almost have this telepathic connection. And this prevents them to actually connect with the person they have in front of them, the person that life brought them to be their partner. And what Guruji explains is that there's no such thing as soulmates. What happens is that we have karmic bonds with different people, and in different incarnations, this karmic bond will assume different relationships. So in one incarnation, we can be partners. In the next incarnation, we can be neighbors, we can be teacher, student, we can be boss and employee, co-workers, or other different type of relationships. And this happens only until the karmic bond is extinguished, which is actually what we are trying to achieve. So another point from this story is that we fail to see the material problems as an opportunity to progress in life. So in the case of King Chitraketu, yes, he did lose his son, and it was very, very painful. But he then received important spiritual knowledge that explained to him what is the nature of the soul and what is the purpose of life. So if you have an atheist, they will see the difficult moments either as a proof that God does not exist, or that if he exists, he is a cruel being. But a bhakta experiences everything as an expression of God's love and care. There is this story of a couple that had just recently got married, and they were in a boat, and there was a storm, and the river starts to become very, very agitated. And the wife, she starts to be afraid. But the husband, he was not. So she asks, "Are you not afraid?" And immediately he grabs a sword and he points to her neck. And he asks, "Are you afraid?" And she said, "No. If the sword is in your hand, why should I be afraid?" And this is the same thing with God. If God is the controller, why should I be afraid? And then we have another point of this story is the grace of the master. So first, King Chitraketu, he chooses to ask for material benefits, which brought him more distress. So the Guru knows what is best for us, so there is no need to ask, because we never know what is associated with each one of the desires. But if we are sincere, even amidst difficulties, we will be able to progress. So in this case, he got initiated into the divine name. And because he had faith in his Guru and was dedicated to the practice, he eventually received the Darshan of the Lord. So the Guru can help us attain the Lord quickly if we trust him and follow his instructions. So this brings us how a devotee should be. Because a normal person and a bhakta, they live completely different lives. So what is a tragedy for one is a completely acceptable event for the other. In Bhagavad Gita, it says that what is night for all beings is actually a time of awakening for the self-controlled. And this is because the devotee has clarity of the purpose of life. The purpose is to attain eternal service to the Lord. So whatever is given here, whether a job, family, wealth, power, is only to serve the Lord and attain eternal service. We accept what has been given and we are grateful. And we trust the Lord because the Lord is ever giving and he knows what is best for us. So He will give us what we need without any need for ask. And a devotee will also realize that the most important relationship is with the Guru. This because all other relationships are circumstantial. They will end with the death of this body. But the relationship with the Guru is eternal. It has always existed and will continue long after leaving the body. So knowing that the relationship is eternal, but that the physical incarnation of the Guru is temporary, how to take full benefit of the time that the Guru is incarnated. So we can do this through seva, through association with the Guru, with the devotees, and through our sadhana. So just to wrap up, this really is a good reminder that we need to be careful with our material desires, because they will bring problems and pain. But if we do, we need to take responsibility and not blame God and Guru for the consequences. Jai Gurudev.
Shivu Tanu Bringa Vishavadirka Narari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Keshavadirka Narari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Kesavadirtha Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Narsingadev 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 Jai Narsingadev Jai Narsingadev 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 Jai Narsingadev Jai Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Bhakta Swarupa Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Bhakta Swarupa Jai Prahlad Maharaj Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Shri Vishwananda Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Shri Vishwananda Gurudev Shri Shri Vetala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Shri Vetala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Shri Vetala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Shri Vitala 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 Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Oh Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri 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 Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha
Shri Vitala Giridhari Parabrahmane
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yadiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala Me
Yadiraja Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala
Hare Swami Jaya Jagadish Hare Bharta Janon ke Sankata Dasa Janon ke Sankata Chara me dura kare Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Joja Deva la Pave Dukkha Vinase Manaka Swami Dukkha Vinase Manaka Sukha Sampatti Garave Sukha Sampatti Garave Kashtamite Janaka Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Tuma Mere Sharanaga Hume Kisaki Swami Sharanaga Hume Kisaki Tuma Vina Ora Na Duja Tuma Vina Ora Na Duja Asaka Hume Kisaki Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Tuma Purana Paramatma Tuma Antarayami Swami Tuma Antarayami Para Brahma Parameshwara Para Brahma Parameshwara Tuma Sabake Swami Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Tuma Karuna Ke Sagara Tuma Palana Karata Swami Tuma Palana Karata Men Sevaka Tuma Swami Men Sevaka Tuma Swami Kripa Karo Bharata Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Tuma Hove Kagochara Savake Pranapati Swami Savake Pranapati Kisa Vidi Nilam Daya Maya Kisa Vidi Nilam Kripa Maya Tuma Kome Kumati Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Dina Bandhu Dukha Harta Tumara Shaka Mere Swami Tumara Shaka Mere Karuna Hata Vadao Karuna Hata Vadao Sharana Pada Tere Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Vishaya Vikara Mitao Paparo Deva Swami Paparo Deva Shraddha Bhakti Vadao Shraddha Prema Vadao Santana Ki Seva Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Dana Mana Dana Sabha Hem Tera Swami Sabha To Chahem Tera Swami Sabha To Chahem Tera Tera Tujhko Arpan Tera Tujhko Arpan Kya lage mera Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Swami Jaya Jagadish Hare Bhakta Janon ke Sankata Dasa Janon ke Sankata Shana me dura kare Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Mana Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Mana Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Chakra Ko Chakra Ko Chakra Koji Chakra Ko Chakra Ko Chakra Koji Mane Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Shama Mane Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Govinda Mane Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Kirari Lala Chakra Koji Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva bandhuscha sakha Tvameva Tvameva vidyadharinam Tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Govinda Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormam Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Prem se bolo Lakshmi Narayana Bhagavan ki Prem se bolo Shri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Bhagavan ki Prem se bolo Shri Radha Krishna Kanhaiya Lala ki Prem se bolo Mahavatar Kriya Babaji ki Prem se bolo Shri Bhutabhrteshwarnath ki Prem se bolo Satgurudeva Sri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Paraya Paramapurushaya Parakarma Mantra Yantra Tantra Oshadastra Shastrani Samalaya Samalaya Mrityur Mochaya Mochaya Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Nipijalapritaya Savadik Shubhanahum Pam Parashmahe Parabrahmane Paramyotishe Swaha Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Jai Jai Shri Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam Venkateramana Govinda Gopika Chidasmanam Govinda Bhakta Vatsala Govinda Pundalika Varade Eknathande Pandalinath Maharaj ki Samasta Bhakta Mandali ki Alva